He told different people different things. I didn't ask him what was wrong with him. I just keep checking in on him or whatever. But like,
that is the first path. That is virtual. Your scholar is at home always. The second path is hybrid. Scholars who are hybrid come to school 2 days a week, either Monday and Tuesday, and then they learn virtually Wednesday through Friday, or they come to school Thursday and Friday and learn virtually Monday through Wednesday. That is the hybrid option where you spend some days in school, some days at home. The final option is fully in school, and this option is essentially closed right now unless there are very special circumstances. We have a lot of scholars in the building. There are a number of scholars who are with us every single day. But the key point, and this is the first thing on the slide, is no matter where your scholar is learning, we're taking extra care to make sure every scholar is receiving the same instruction. So even when scholars are in the classrooms, if they're learning in person, they're still sitting on a laptop receiving the exact same instruction as a scholar who might be sitting in their home, because we know it's very important to provide the same instruction regardless of circumstance. So it is not true that there's a different set of learning going on in the building than there is at home. It's just changing where your scholar might be experiencing school. And I'm guessing y'all have heard of this either through your scholar, from frustrations from them, or maybe you've seen it in Power School. We have undergone a number of schedule changes to ensure that scholars have the best learning experience possible no matter where they are. The latest of these schedule changes happened about 2 weeks ago. A few of your scholars might still be being switched around if they're in person, changing which room they're learning from. But the most important thing is to just communicate with us if you're ever confused on your scholar's schedule. We will talk about where to find that at the end of the session. And all of this means that learning this year is heavily dependent on a connection to the internet and a device that helps your scholar access class materials. If you are thinking right now, my scholar doesn't have access to one of those two things or both, please open up that form that is in the chat and tell us that you need help getting a hotspot or a Chromebook, and we can work on those things here from the school. All right. So the key points is that learning will be the same no matter where your scholar is, virtual, remote, or hybrid. And if you have any needs for devices, to please fill out that form so we can help contact you with that. And I want to talk about some common challenges we've experienced throughout the first quarter for Uplift Mighty scholars and families. As a staff and as a school, we're still learning every day and trying to adjust to help give the best educational experience possible. These are three big things we've seen. And if we can get these things working well, educational experience will improve for your scholar without question. We've noticed a very close connection between daily attendance and school performance. The biggest indicator of your scholar's success in school this year is how often they're able to attend classes. I cannot stress that highly enough, that the most important thing that you can do for your scholar's success is help to ensure that they are attending classes every day. Of course, absences will happen, especially with internet connections. That's something we understand, and we deal with it in the building as well. There are times where the internet will go out and we'll have to restart the class all over again. So when those types of things happen, your scholar should know how to access a website called Schoology, which we'll cover in the second part of the presentation. They can always message us as soon as they get done with the class, and we can go back and change their attendance. So if they're in their second period and the internet goes out and they don't get it back till 4 p.m. that afternoon, it's important that the scholar go on to Schoology and message their teachers to tell us, because then we can give them the work that they missed. But if we don't hear from them after they drop out of the call, we aren't going to be able to help them that much. So the important thing is your scholar advocates for themselves, and if they're not able to be in class, to ask for the work, because we'll always be able to give that to them, but we can't know if they don't ask for it. The number one reason we saw for failures in Q1 was incomplete work, not poor academic performance. If your scholar was engaging in the learning platform and completing all their work, it's very, very likely that they had a successful quarter. Most of the struggles we saw were where scholars were unable to complete assignments. And we're doing things as a staff to help your scholar better be able to know what they're missing and how they can make it up. And our ask in return is that you and your family place a special emphasis on ensuring that work is completed, because that was the number one thing we saw. Scholars were failing to complete work occasionally. All right, and I'm going to switch over my microphone and speaker. So just give me one moment, and Miss Kinney is going to take this part of the presentation where she's going to talk about some of those tools I was just referencing. I'm going to switch over and start watching the chat. So just give us one moment.
Okay, again, I'm Miss Kinney. I'm the 7th grade grade level chair, as well as the 8th grade art teacher. So this year we have two super important platforms we're using for technology. The first one is where your child is technically going to school at, which is called Schoology. Schoology is the place where all of your scholars' work will be all year long. So for their art class, for their reading class, for their math class, for their science class, all of it is on that platform. And they can find every single thing that we're teaching in class and showing to the kids on our Zoom calls there every day, and they can turn their work in and make sure they're just current with what's going on in class. This is super similar to what we used last year in March, April, and May of 2019-2020 school year. When we first started going virtual, we used Google Classroom, which is very similar to Schoology. But it is the most important technology tool for them to be successful this year. This is where they turn in their assignments. This is where they see their assignments. This is where they find their Zoom link to make sure that they're able to get into class. So if you are having any issues at all with your scholar logging into Schoology, please, please, please put that information in that Google form that is over in the chat and let us know. That way we can best help your scholar. Again, like Mr. Muntz was saying, we don't know what's going on with them until they tell us, just because we're not in person with every single one of them. Okay, so moving on from Schoology to Power School. Perfect. Okay, so I'm actually going to put the link for Power School for you guys in the chat. Oh, Ms. Ramos just did it because she's amazing. Okay, so Power School is where you can see all of your scholars' attendance and all of their grades. This is where you'll be able to tell, like, is my scholar coming to class? Are they getting good grades? Are they turning their work in? Because if they haven't turned their work in, most of your teachers will have it as missing. So you'll be able to tell. And then those Schoology and Power School exist simultaneously for your teachers and for your scholars, where each assignment that's in Schoology will be in Power School. And so they'll be able to find the assignments that they're missing in Schoology, and then they'll be able to see all of that going out of Power School. Okay, so you have access to this, to Power School via the link that Ms. Ramos just put into the chat box. You'll use your scholars login that they use for Schoology. And if you need the district code, we'll be emailing that out, but it is ZTTK. Either Ms. Ramos or Mr. Muntz, they're racing to put it in the chat right now. I can hear them typing. So it is very, very important that your scholar and you have access to both Schoology and Power School to make sure that they are as successful as they can be in this super weird world that we're living in for school right now. So again, if you're having issues or your scholar is having issues, anybody is accessing either of those, please, please message us. Go ahead and put it in that Google form and we'll get back to you as soon as we can about it. And one small thing that had happened, I believe 4 weeks ago now, was all of their passwords and logins ended up changing for Schoology. So if they're still struggling with that, I know a few of the kiddos that are in my classroom had been having issues with that. Please message us if their logins are not working. Again, you can just put that in the Google form and we'll send it right back to you. Okay, so today we wanted to take the time to do kind of a town hall format of your parent-teacher conferences, but it was more of a giving you all of the information at the same time so everyone knew what was going on, just because this semester has been super crazy and we're all learning how to do this as we're doing it. Like parents, teachers, staff, students, everyone is learning how to do this all virtually and in person. So from Ms. Ramos or Mr. Muntz is going to put in a sign up genius that will allow you to sign up for a parent teacher conference with either me if your child is in 7th grade, Mr. Muntz if your child is in 8th grade, or Ms. Ramos if your child is in 6th grade. If you still have further questions about your scholar, maybe they are getting marked absent, maybe they haven't been able to attend, maybe they are failing multiple classes and you just want to check in on that and get more information, we would be happy to meet with you. The available time slots will be in that sign up genius, which Mr. Muntz just put into the chat. And you can sign up for your parent individual family conference there. If you would like to have a meeting with one specific teacher, please go ahead and put that in the Google form and just let us know who that teacher is and we can go ahead and forward that to them.
All right. Sorry, y'all, we're sitting in the same room, so if we turn on our microphones, it's going to give you a very loud and annoying noise. I'm sure y'all might have experienced that at some point in this virtual world. But to just wrap up here, we actually were able to get done here in just about 20 minutes, which is excellent. We just want to close by saying the conditions of this year have been extremely challenging. We feel it as a staff. I know your scholars feel it through conversations with them. And I just see Mr. Stubbs, our director, dropped a message in the chat, and I might invite him to speak here in just a moment about that report card deadline. But the conditions of this year have been challenging for us as a staff, for your scholar, and I'm certain for you as a family. The important part is that we can get through these types of challenges through consistent communication and through consistent efforts. All of what we talked about today will be sent out in an email because this was a very quick session, but we just wanted to hit a few high points while also being able to inform you and get to meet y'all, even if it's just on camera. The email will contain all of the slides from today. There will be these sessions recorded, so if there was a part of this that you wanted to go back and watch, that will be in there. And we'll include the Google form for any questions you might have and the sign up genius for if you would like to have another parent conference with us, with an individual teacher. That is where we can have one-on-one conversations. We wanted to take this time to address the entire school first. All right. So I just want to thank y'all for stepping in here and helping us out, meeting with us today. I want to reiterate Mr. Stubbs' messages. He said, well, thanked everyone for joining us, and he asked to bear in mind that report cards for quarter one go out this Friday. And after that report card comes out, if you feel that you need to schedule a conference, we are always here for y'all. So I wanted to end on this slide. This will also be included in the email, but if you want to take out a phone and take a photo, however works best for you, your best person for contact is Miss Jennifer Ramos. She's the 6th grade level chair. If you have a 6th grade scholar, her email is listed there. If you have a 7th grade scholar, your best person to contact is Miss Haley Kinney. Her email is there. And if you have an 8th grade scholar, I'm your best person to contact, Mr. Nicholas Muntz. My email should be put right there. Okay. Thank you all for joining once more. I am going to post the question link. I'm certain we have questions, and we just wanted to find an effective way to get all those concerns at once. So that link is being dropped in the chat once more. And that is all that we have for the live part of this session. If y'all still have questions, please feel free to hang on the call. We'll be following up with that email by sometime this evening with all of the information. All right, Ms. Ramirez, I see you. I'm going to message you back, Ms. Ramirez. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. I see. Mr. Ramirez, Ms. Ramos is messaging you right now. She is our 6th grade level chair, and she'll be able to help you with that. If anyone else has questions, please message them. We are going to hang out here for a few minutes if y'all have any questions or concerns. Also, y'all, just wanted to let you know the meeting was recorded and it will be sent out on video. So if there was a portion of this that you might have missed, you will have the opportunity to watch that again. But if you don't have any additional questions, that is all we have for you today. And all of this will be coming out in an email if you have further questions. So if y'all are nothing else, feel free to go. Good question, Ms. Starr. So you said when signing up for an individual conference, I don't see a spot to request a teacher. Ms. Kinney, can you send her the Google form link? Ms. Starr, I think we might have confused you a bit on which form to use. We're going to send you another form. It's going to come from Ms. Kinney, and that is where you'll be able to sign up for like an individual conference with like Mr. Burdo or whoever the teacher might be. When you have a question, just say, I would like a conference with blank, and then we can schedule that for you. The forms, yeah, the forms. So when it says, Ms. Starr, what is your question? Just go ahead and put in there who you'd like the conference with. I apologize. I wasn't clear on that.
Oh, she'd also message me to get your email. I got it.
Miss Star, no, we will take care of that. That sign up genius is just if you want to meet with us about your student's performance in the whole grade. We could have made that clear. The time slot link is if you want to talk to one of us, we're the grade level chairs to speak about your scholar's total performance. But if you just want to speak to an individual teacher, Miss Kinney just put that link in the chat. I'll do that again. All right, awesome, Miss Star. Thank you. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put out about one more final call here for questions. And then if y'all have nothing else, the email will be following this session. We really appreciate you being here. Seeing no other questions, y'all, is anyone still on with you? I see we still have a few more conversations happening. We're going to leave the call open for a few more minutes. Hey, y'all, if you're still having questions, please ask them. We're leaving this call open here for a few minutes. If you're just joining, we just finished up the session, but we will email out a video of the session because, of course, this is not the best time. I know folks are many different places. So we will send out a video of this session. But if y'all have any more questions, we'll hang on the call here for a few more minutes. Yeah, you can stop.